Turn over, you camera. Turn over, you camera. Yeah! It's a Friday. Getting depressed on Friday. I'm Ken Napsuck. That's Alden Diaz. Oh, by the way, this is Anytime with Ken and Alden. How you doing?
Was that a Rebecca Black reference?
Yeah, it was.
In 2025, the year of some of our lords?
She's still good. She's doing good out there. Have you followed her career since then? She's doing good.
I have. She had a song last year that made me sit back and just think, did we misjudge Rebecca Black? Is Rebecca Black a victim of our society?
I think so.
It's not our fault that her parents made her make a stupid little song.
Yeah, like you want to get deep. You want to get deep? Let's get deep. Yeah, no, I think she is a testament to surviving internet hoopla where that could bury, understandably, people. Lightsaber Kid comes to mind. That poor guy. She rose above. And by the way, Friday, that's a bop. That's a bop, Diaz.
Wow, I guess we solved it. All right, bye, everyone. That's it. Welcome to Rebecca Black Talk, and it's over. We like her. Rebecca, you're always welcome on this show. Wow. Well, there it is. Oh, but we can't leave before we say this, of course, too. Praise be, buddy Christ.
Praise be.
Absolutely.
Jesus should give you the willies.
The willies. The late, great George Carlin as Cardinal Glick in that movie. One of the great side characters.
I might pull the old DVD out and watch that this weekend.
You should. You absolutely should. It holds up. It holds up. We're referencing the motion picture Dogma for those of you who maybe weren't around in the 90s. I was, but barely.
Yeah. Lot to... I was going to say a lot to get to, Alden. That's not what I think we're doing here today. A lot to talk about, a lot to process, a lot to joke about, be afraid about. I don't even know where to begin. This has been the type of week, Alden. I don't know if you've experienced this, where I'll go over to my news sources over on Ground News and refresh, and every new headline is just horrendous. Even more than even like a month ago, it seems.
Yeah, this week was pretty bad. Bad, actually. I'm okay, but I had a little bit of just one of those. I had like a mini text breakdown at Ken yesterday where I was just like, well, I don't even know what we should do. We have this and this and this and this and this and this, and it's all garbage. It's all trash. And I stand by that. It is all garbage and it is all trash. Of course, there have been new shootings because we just treat those the way we treat shoes and new menu items at Taco Bell in this country. Oh, we got a new shooting this week. All right. What's the flavor of this one? And so we had that. We had the United Nations convening today. Something marginally good happened, at least, that they walked out on that war criminal while he was trying to sell his BS version of the story.
Well, they've got to finish the job, Alden.
Of course. And then can you define the job, please?
What is the job you're doing?
And then would the gentleman from Tel Aviv please define what the job means?
I'm laughing because it's horrible, because it's a genocide.
It's pretty bad.
But I'm just like...
Yeah. No, it's bad. We had that. We had obviously the further crackdown of Antifa, which is totally a group that exists. So we have that. We had lots of just every single angle. Things were bad. The FBI is bad. The Tylenol stuff is bad. We did get our marginal victory with Jimmy Kimmel on Monday. Yeah, you and I haven't spoken. I mean, we've spoken, but we haven't done a show since then. I don't want to say it's old news because it's still important, but that was big. There's been a lot, and not much of it was a positive feeling. There was a Star Wars trailer there. That did happen. So I rewatched that.
Seems like a life.
Doesn't it feel like it was a while ago already?
And two, because the Visions Volume 3, which Visions I enjoy, but it's a take it or leave it for me. Love that To be clear, love that. I think it's beautiful stuff. It doesn't move my needle too much. But yeah, wow. Oh my God, that's crazy. That was this week.
Yeah. No, it's every now and then this week I've just hit the trailer like it's an antidepressant. I've just been like, oh yeah, I have that, and I watch it, and then I feel okay for like an hour. That's been nice.
Yeah, I've watched it twice, which is not a comment on the show, the movie. I'm very much looking forward to Mandalorian and Grogu. It just was like, all right, file that away.
Yeah, we couldn't consume it without an ethical conversation, without a
that's true.
Personal preferences conversation. We couldn't, which is more and more the case, right? Where every single thing that you do is in some way tied to it. You know, I don't want to throw stones at anyone in particular. I mean, I do, but I'm not going to here.
Right.
To be clear, I have plenty of stones to throw at very specific people, but in general,
you got a big bag of stones.
And Alden Diaz, a big bag of stones. That'll be the name of my special in 5 years.
There you go.
And I'll be doing it for Saudi blood money. I will be on the bill. That's the other thing that happened.
Okay, but that here's maybe because I'm in the stand-up world. That's like a 2-month-old story. That lineup got announced like 2 months ago, and all of a sudden this week it's rightfully questioned.
I don't know why it's making the round. Is it because I know Marin talked about it, and he probably boosted it more into the conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. It might be the combination of Marin and Gillis, because the story was that Gillis turned it down, and then they kept calling him, offering him more and more money, and he kept saying no. Like that was also out there.
Is he our moral barometer now? That's a weird place to be.
The alliance of Shane Gillis and Mark Maron versus the Saudis
versus Burr and Burris and Pete Davidson going there.
It's
there with Live Golf, WWE, and now this. I mean, it's this weird push into what I think is I'll just say Western culture in a general stereotypical way, but it just the Saudis kind of. I mean, I think they're going to own the parent company of WWE. I think it's I don't even know what to think of it all. Other than I'm not going to be offered, so I don't have to make that moral decision, which is also Marin's great bit that he went around this week.
No, it was a great thing of like, it's very easy for me to hire road when they didn't want me. Yeah, which is a nice position. But in any case, there was a lot of judging this week happening in different directions. A lot of judging about how to engage and what to do. And you and the great Joseph Scrimshaw touched on this on your Force Center episode this week. And it's not even a Star Wars thing. It's just an engagement thing of like, are you engaging the right way? Are you fighting the right way? And that conversation's how I started the week. And I just maintained that frustration channeled through different topics and everything. And it's like, my ultimate takeaway on this time is that we're all complicit. Like, we are here now doing this show on the same website that this week decided Biden pressured them into getting rid of election and COVID conspiracy material. That is all now able to come back. And it's like, I hate to break it to y'all, we're not going to move the show to somewhere else because there's nowhere else to move it to. And that's sometimes like, you know, I another example I use is McDonald's. It's like, my sister has 4 young kids. She gets them McDonald's. I'm not going to knock the Happy Meal out of his hand because of the boycott. Like, that just doesn't. There is a level of complicity that everybody inherently has. Hey, it's like fries flying through the air.
I am with you, but I know my background is much different than yours in terms of upbringing and perspectives, and so sometimes I blame that for like what I'm thinking, and it does kind of the old Ken can emerge. But like, I don't have a Substack. But everyone being like, get the fuck off Substack. There's livelihoods on there. If Patreon goes completely wonky, and it's sometimes wonky, no one's going to follow. That's the thing. I could go, all right, everybody, I'm leaving Patreon to go to Bloop Bloop. Go over there, drop a coin in Bloop Bloop. No one's going to follow because you won't get the attention of your audience to go, hey, I'm morally conflicted here. I'm moving over there. 1/3 will follow you. So it's a tough spot. All I'm saying is acknowledging it's a tough spot. And I think that's part of what you're saying.
It is. Yeah, I am saying that. I'm being catty about it. But yes, I am saying that. Like there's, you know, not everybody can Bloop Bloop is what we're saying. In this imaginary platform that you've created, Bloop Bloop, where Bloop Bloop has no ties to any genocidal regimes. Bloop Bloop has no blood money involved. you still have to, again, we can't even get people to acknowledge certain like just facts anymore, let alone change their consumption habits. So that just becomes a really difficult thing. I mean, like Netflix is a great example where it's like last year you recommended me a great documentary about the history of queer comedy. It's called, I think I wish I could remember what it was called. It's about Outfest, right?
Yeah, like, I totally forget it too because I even forget song titles of songs I like.
I said it was really great, and then I didn't know what it was called. That's not an indictment of it.
I'll look it up while you're chatting.
Yeah, and you know, you watch this documentary and it's wonderful. The reason I use it as an example is because it's a Netflix exclusive, the same platform that is doing business with Chappelle to the tune of millions and millions and millions and millions, and it's on the same thing, and you're giving money to both. You're giving money because it's like that documentary gets made, but you're also, you know, guaranteeing that Kill Tony and like other things like that get to exist.
Yeah. By the way, it's called Outstanding: A Comedy Revolution. I highly recommend it. Released in 2024. Outstanding.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. Lots of stuff I didn't know. So that's sort of the vibe. Is that it's been a dirty feeling week. You know, like it's been dirty. Like that's happened with Spotify. I was an old man for a long time who did not use music streaming. I just purchased songs and purchased albums up until 2024. Then I finally broke and got Spotify. Now, a year later, many people, and I'm not disagreeing with them, are saying, hey, you should pull out of Spotify because what their CEO is doing on the side with his other ventures. And it's like, okay, yeah, where are you guys going? Oh, we're going to Apple. Oh, okay, because they just bent the knee to Trump and pumped millions into the inaugural fund, and they also put together their iPhones with slave labor. Like, what do you like? I just don't understand like why you think that we can run from this. We can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to be defeatist about it. I'm just saying we have to be realistic to survive the time. It's just how I feel. Like we just have to know what we're up against.
I think you're being honest, and we could easily approach it with cynicism, or you could hear us out there and think that, you know, you're not being true to the fight or whatever. And that's part of and I get it too, right? Like I had to step into a Target this week. I have been 5 times since the turn of the year. But there's just sometimes, you know, also it's the only credit card I had open for food. So I'm like, I need to go to Target. And I think there's a realism, but it's also depressing. It's part of the exhausting ongoing fight, right? Like that's part of how they win. You turn around, you're overwhelmed by it, and you want to do what's right. You want to make the right stands. And all I say like the Substack thing is, and I've seen some people I know who have like, all right, I am moving. Come with me, and I think that's a great decision. But there's, you know, like I said, with Bloop Bloop, it's not realistic, and it's just I think that's what I'm feeling this week too. Where like the only joy I really got out of this week was I got a third squirrel to eat from my hands out of the 4, and Trump having to walk up an escalator. Highlights of my week.
Look, you're making light of what was obviously terrorism. All right, you need to relax. Don't bring that up in jest. Okay, that was our dear leader under attack from I guess a technician or something.
I went into this on the Blather yesterday. Check out that episode. Watch this show. Watch that show. Cross contaminate. I consider myself a bit of an escalator expert from 17 years in mall public safety. Literally a strong wind can stop those things. Those guardrails, those handrails, if you move them slightly, $5,000 worth of damage, the whole thing stops. So I love that they think it was a terror plot when really it was the dude running up and down that probably messed up some weight issue.
Yeah, it was one of their own people that messed that up. And then it was also one of their people that messed up the teleprompter the White House was operating. It was a White House media person or whoever they bring. That whole, again, it's like there's nothing new that can be said. It's not brave to be like, how do people listen to this man? But they do. He can tell every country you're all going to hell, and we just move on.
I mean, and I highlighted for those of the audio listeners, Molly Damon, our friend for life, said the attempt on his life has left him scarred and deformed. Oh wait, he already looked like that. I love that. Yeah, man. Yeah. A lot. And this one of those week, and it's just, I think to me, it's escalating. I was watching Heather Cox Richardson talking about this like a couple days ago of like the last 10 days going to the murder of Charlie Kirk and everything it just seemed to have, it's something's ramped up, and it seems vague to say something like I'm, looking at the bones to predict the future, but it's just there's just an extra little boil in the water, and that UN speech too was dangerously batshit, puzzlingly batshit, and I'm talking about Trump's, not Netanyahu's today. And then also, I still cannot get over. I've had several conversations this week off air with family members, friends, of just like Stephen Miller quoted Goebbels' speech from 1932, like beat for beat, not quoted. That's maybe not the right word, but beat for beat adapted it. Yeah. Is that not the number one story? Why is that not the number one story? It's insane to me.
No, man, the number one story is Comey. We got to get Comey. That's what it is. He's the villain. He's the villain.
He was in 2016, but yeah, man, yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, like I'll highlight this comment here from our friend Charlie Ashby. It says, a week in which people implied I was enabling fascism by watching a Star Wars trailer, while other people patted Tucker Carlson on the back for saying the truth for once, and Ted Cruz and Candace Owens. Good time actually to touch on Jimmy Kimmel with those names being said, because he also touched on those names. I there's been a lot of TV critics and reviewers and lots of punditry already about it, so we're not going to discuss the entire situation top to bottom. Although I will say, quick note on it, the shareholders starting to revolt on Jimmy's side is very funny. And if Bob Iger gets ousted because of this in a shareholder revolt, because they decide they're his boss.
Shareholder value.
Shareholder value. That would be a very poetic ending. But I think to that point, I want to give Kimmel a lot of grace. He was obviously extremely emotional. This had to be pulled together quickly. Right. It was the whole thing. In his big epic return monologue, which I mostly really, really loved, I feel he gave grace to people that he did not need to give. And I think, as I've said many times, at what point are we going to just like acknowledge the situation that we're in? And I know that part of it is that he's a man of faith and I'm not. Like, there are different perspective things that I know are just, this is how we see the world. Like he talked about forgiveness. I'm going to choose my words here very carefully, but he talked about forgiveness and how a certain person forgave another person for a deed that was done and how it moved him and everything. And all I heard was, oh, we're already sanitizing what that event was, because I heard what Miller was saying. I saw the fireworks. I saw the president. I saw what it was. And it's not Kimball's fault. But it's just an example of like how a thing can happen. And by the next day, a version of it that is so much more tame has been accepted, even by the new face of free speech. And again, I really liked it. I liked that he came in and for the TV historians dropped Jack Parr's line from 1960 after he was removed from television and then returned. Like there was he talked. I like that he talked about how it's the past, it's now with him and Colbert, it's the future with digital. He talked about what if they do this with your podcast. He talked about he was very direct, but there has been already this week a like you said, there's an extra weirdness, an extra creepiness that you can hear. If you listen closely, you can even hear it probably in German, because that's how it sounds. And we are having to just accept like I get what he was saying. It was smart of him, I think, to name some of the right wingers that have supported his right to free speech, because we should put these people on the record as dissenting within their own, But at the same time, it's like we really don't need to hand it to them. We really don't need to give them any credit, because they would never give any of us any credit. Look what they're doing to Comey. Yeah. Comey, who helped give him the presidency, is now being under fire. Like it's like we still have not acknowledged the enemy that we have. Shooting at ICE, only detainees get killed, and then we find a conveniently placed bullet with pen, looking like a Bic, pen they use at the bank, scribbled anti-ICE on it, and Kash Patel posts that before they even have anything, and the perp is gone, and we're just supposed to like move on.
He gone? Oh no, he's weird. That's right. He's killed himself.
Yeah, he unalived himself.
Unalived YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot there. Yeah. I saw you taking the Kimmel. I get it. Understand. I actually think it was perfection. I think it was everything with all those eyes on it. Like, no disrespect to you or anyone here. Like, I don't know if anyone of you have had to publicly apologize on your company's show as I have had. when you have to thread that needle with all eyes watching you, including your bosses. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. I also think it speaks. And by the way, you're 100%. Again, you're 100% right. Speaking about
no, I hear
propaganda rally. Sure. I just think sitting there with Uncle Bob, probably off the. There's probably 13 lawyers off camera waiting.
And he also didn't apologize, and that's a way to. It's a way to not apologize.
Yeah, I think it was perfection through and through it, and mentioning some of the stuff that moved him, and he was moved. And I think you're right. There's a lot going on. He's an emotional guy like me. I think it was a little bit of a not a bait and switch, not high strategy, but just this, not 4D chess of just like I'm going to give you this so I can take this, and I think it was effective because again, man, I text you about one, but I've had more since then. Alden, my sample size was small, but it's grown. The amount of people I've talked to in my own life who are like, yeah, I never knew who Charlie Kirk was. There's so many people that don't know Groypers, Nick Fuentes, Benny Johnson, any of those names that we just kind of live with, to a frightening level. But so if you're watching Kimmel, I think it was smart to give a little of the ground. But again, I agree with you. We also should be able to call it what it is, and I think he will over time. But
yes. It was very contextual. Yeah. Like it was like that night was particular. So I completely like I still get it.
And, well, I want to and you're because I saw your thread and you're like, hey, I'm at like 98%. I just didn't like this because of a bigger picture. And I want to be clear. But I saw some people I know. One of them called him a coward. Another person like called him a traitor. And I was just like, what do we like? What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, there's also people. There's also a general. I want to get back to your point about the apologies too in a second, but there is also an attitude amongst like the smuggest of our ilk, our digital, very online people, nerds, and whatever, that they seem to think that job is just like yucks and being dumb and being safe.
Right.
And like they have no idea. I mean, these are people that can't like order a pizza over the phone. Like these are people that can't talk to their fucking barber, let alone lead a team of a few hundred people to create live programming every day. So it's like,
sorry, you stumbled onto a reference that I won't get to go into, but a up and coming director of a new horror film had that issue, and it was one of the things that infuriated me constantly.
You've told me that. We'll talk about it. You've told me. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I know my generation. I know my generation.
Yeah. You get me. You get me.
Yeah, like I know how some of you are. Like people love to be like, he's just so safe and whatever. And it's like some of you literally can't. You could not even do anytime. Like you couldn't come on here with a friend and like express. So I
could be replaced by. Yeah, I could be replaced by one of 4 squirrels easily.
Maybe in a trench coat, even with a beanie. 4 squirrels and a beanie. But yeah, I had that frustration too, where I'm like, you all really think that this is like nothing. It was an exercise in, as we often say, multiple truths, where it's like, it is true that was extremely important. It is true that it was mostly great. It is true that I was frustrated by something that's not even really his fault. And like you said, it's when they were demanding an apology and a donation, it was smart of him to give them something that they might quell that. You know, they might just be like, all right, he was nice. He was nice about this and that. Yeah. And it walked an extremely fine line. But to your point, I wanted to touch on what you said about a lot of people don't know what it's like to apologize on behalf of a company. I don't know what it's like to apologize on behalf of a company, but I have had to apologize to a senior vice president on behalf of a listener that was offended once about something I said about Trumpies. And then I had to, because we had to protect their feelings, as I often say. And then I had to apologize once, as you remember. Well, I didn't have to, but I did on Twitter because I copied and pasted a meme onto a picture of a space Sasquatch. And then people who write for big websites started to say that I was promoting violence against women. Right. And I'm not making light of the violence against women's part, but I am saying it was an obvious smear job. Not that I'm a victim. I was fine. I moved on with my life the next day. But it was just like this, all right, you should apologize. And so then I apologized and said, I'm sorry. This is what happened. And they were like, we don't want you to explain. You should just say you're sorry. Like there is no, you know, and some of these same people, by the way, couldn't even be bothered to donate to Make-A-Wish Foundation or to support queer people with a hashtag or to, the one thing about Alden Diaz is that I never forget a motherfucker, and I keep receipts. So it's just like,
so you've definitely moved on. You've definitely moved on.
I moved on in the sense that I was not going to change my behavior because of that.
No, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
The mob mentality of like, how dare you? How dare you do this?
But you experienced that moment. I think enemies of you found an inn, and you had accidentally given them that inch. You had exposed a little bit of your shield, and they saw your ankle. They went for it, and that's part of that too. Yeah.
And my only regret is not going blood for blood. I turned to the other cheek the way Christ teaches.
It's good. That's good.
And
you're still here. You weren't raptured, but it's good.
I know. I didn't do enough. JMB says, is Alden a Warhammer dwarf with a book of grudges? I have never done Warhammer, but that sounds pretty great. That does sound like something I would have, a book of grudges.
Roll 20 for vengeance.
We are in an unserious landscape with people that, again, like they are utterly feckless. They have like no real beliefs. They stand for nothing. They just sit around waiting to. There was somebody who, in that whole firestorm, that people coming after me said in public that I was misgendering people and like bullying non-binary people, and then when confronted by this said, oh yeah, I mean, I didn't actually see it, I was just told that. And it's like that these are the people that are running also discourse online, that they pay attention to nothing and then they just show up and say whatever. And so it's like we are sometimes shocked and awed by like the right and everything of how they just believe everything, but it does happen over here too. People like the narrative that like a Jimmy Kimmel show is just thrown together and that it's an easy job is just something that we've accepted.
Right.
And the narrative that, by engaging in like a Star Wars trailer, you're enabling fascism. It's just like, I hate to break it to y'all, but Disney broke with DEI the second Target did. They just didn't do it loudly. Like, I hate to break it with y'all, but Disney and Warner Brothers have both been in bed with Israel in different ways over the years. Like, I hate to break it to y'all, Disney used to employ Harvey Weinstein. Like, where's your line? If it was Jimmy Kimmel and that was your line, I respect that. But at the same time, I would ask that you acknowledge that the world extends beyond the week that we just lived in. There is more that goes on. And so with all that being said, like, it is difficult to go out there and have to navigate all of those nuances as the face of those nuances. And I don't know about your experience apologizing on behalf of a company. I actually don't remember that.
It was small, but it was, I had stepped on you. I had stepped on my dick and I still, have my reasons for it, but like it created a small enough fervor that it was like, hey, you got to say something. And, you say something, but it's like you got people off camera like, all right, good. You said it, it's a needle to thread. And Jimmy's got 200 employees on his back, and that's why I personally call it perfection while acknowledging everything you were saying. It's like, that's part of my frustration of the week of that. It wasn't a funeral. It was a rally. It was a literal rally. Like Benny Johnson talking about the sword of justice and everything. Like it's scary shit, man.
The storm is coming. And then I didn't even realize, because I didn't know anything about the now widowed Erica Kirk until now, because I don't care. But now all of a sudden, information about her that she was like, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but she worked with Trump before, and like she met him because of their thing, and like she's like banned from Romania because of like some shady shit that she did. Like I didn't know any of that until now. Because again, I want a semblance of peace in my life and to not know too much about these people. It's bad.
And it's part of the frustration of these times, but also this week. Why I think I bring it up a lot, Olden, because I just don't know what to do with that information. But I think it's important. The lack of, we all just kind of, in general, that's why we had the online versus offline people of we always say, right? Oh, I'm just going to put my phone. You were even saying, like, maybe I just need to put my phone up and decompress and unplug, and I might do that tomorrow. I got a wedding to go to. I might just want to enjoy that moment and put aside all the pressures and stresses in my life and Wells' world. But then the people who have like, oh yeah, I don't have that. I'm not on Facebook, and they're mostly boomers. The things that they don't know, yet they still form opinions on the general things. It continues to scare me, and that Christian nationalist propaganda service is frightening. But everyone else is just hearing the word of Jesus, and it's like that ain't the word of Jesus. And I even listen to reverends and pastors. It's one of my favorite little things to do now, where there are a lot of people in ministry who are against MAGA and who are warning of the rise in Christian nationalism or the continuation of it. And so I'm always talking to you of like, how do I take that and plug it into the people who are unplugged? And this week opened up a lot of that.
I mean, and to that point, like if people want an idea of just how serious it is, it's been codified as of yesterday. Whitehouse.gov, countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. Quote, violent conduct includes anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity. Those are the first three. It goes on.
And I know it's from
codified anti-Christianity as domestic terrorism.
And this is from an executive order, right? This is
totally means a lot.
Totally means nothing. But yeah, part of my point for bringing it up, but also part of the point of like, I haven't even gotten to that part of my weekend where I can read more about that story.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they,
Yeah, man. But I had it was one of my conversations I had this week where I brought up something about, I believe I still have a belief in God or a God or something. I'm working through that side of things, but I'm here to untangle God from the godless. And I'm here to at least point out the rise in Christian nationalism. And the person I was talking to was like, I keep hearing that. What is that? And they finally looked it up. They'd never looked it up their entire life. They were like, oh, that's bad. It's like, well, you voted for it 3 times. So what are we doing now? I can't go back and change 2016, 2020, 24. What can I do now with you? That's kind of where my head is a lot. And I know I repeat myself, Alden. I apologize. I'm the drunk uncle.
No, not at all. Not at all. But it actually segues nicely into something else that we had in our loose notes, which was not only do they not realize some of the
sounds so dirty.
They're texts is what they are. There's another word for them. It's a text.
Loose notes.
Loose notes. It reminds me of the episode of Family Guy where Kiss is performing and they go to see Kiss, and then it turns out that all the members of Kiss know Lois because she was a groupie back in the day, and they call her Loose Lois. Anyway, little Family Guy lore for you.
It's the
from back in the day.
The best running joke in Best in Show is Catherine O'Hara's character just having banged everyone she met in her life, and Eugene Levy's like, "Hello, I'm your husband."
Oh man, good
I'm
stuff.
Not
but we were going to touch
underwear.
on. God, what was the? I don't remember the.
Sorry, I completely derailed you with dirty jokes.
No, I remember where I was going. I was trying to remember what the study was, and I could scroll back and find it, but I'm not going to. Essentially, there was a study and a chart that Ken had sent me that we wanted to talk about, which ties perfectly into what you just said about the examples in your own life. And that was about how the fact that people just seem to shockingly not understand how unpopular the Republicans are, particularly Trump.
Yes.
They just don't have a concept of it. It does not compute for them. It doesn't land in front of them. They're insulated from the information of his lack of popularity. And it makes a lot of sense when you look at how much they have to project strength. Goes to the UN and says, I ended 7 wars. And it's like, well, that's just objectively false in every way. You might have started a few. But they need that. They need that because it's nothing that they're doing is popular. Not a single thing they're doing is popular.
Man, I'm scrolling back a lot. We might text too much.
We
might text too much.
You could just say it's me.
Oh yeah, here it is. I got Heather Cox Richardson, who's an interesting follow and great watch, folks. Just to add it into your wheelbarrow of people to listen to while we try to survive this. The backlash at ABC Disney canceling Gimbal was swift and severe. The whole episode underscores something I've been blogging about for a while. This is from a G. Elliott Morris. a lot of powerful people just don't realize how unpopular Trump is. This was kind of directly related to the Iger of it all, and just some of these folks making a decision that they felt, well, we got to protect our business, and that's not necessarily new. You mentioned Jack Parr. We've mentioned Smothers Brothers. We've talked. This is all not new territory. We know that, but it's just with this boiling intensity that's not. I've never felt in my lifetime, but I'm not around too as long as other people. But yeah, just that they're almost. We don't have a comment from Iger, but I can almost see him going like, "Whoa, that went sideways." Like, okay. Like, he said bad things, right? And I think some of that because the powerful people aren't on the ground, right? They don't have their feet on the ground. Again, one of the things that I love about the Book of Boba Fett, talking about how leadership needs to be on the ground. You need to have your feet on the land of that you own, maybe, that you run, that you're the leader of.
Wait, which show did you say did that?
Oh, Book of Boba Fett, one of my favorite Star Wars shows that I absolutely love.
I thought that one was just like cameo.
Oh, I heard it sucked. I heard it sucked.
I'm confused by your analysis.
Yeah, no. I heard it sucked. Anyway. Did you watch it? No, I know, and I just heard it sucked.
No. I heard they gave Boba Fett a no-kill rule and made him a pansy.
Oh yeah. No, they ruined the cold-blooded killer that I loved in 1987. Yes. But it makes sense, and it's not an excuse or anything, but it's just part of. I like to engage with the reasons why, right? I almost said Joseph, so I thought this was Force Center. The why of things, and you know, the part of what I think we deal with is there are a lot of people in my life. Again, I try to say I acknowledge I have a smaller sample size, but it's like they're holding on to the norm. They don't even know that the norms have changed, right? Yeah. So they're still doing the, how dare you call us a Nazi? I'm like, do you know who Nick Fuentes is? Who? Okay. There might be reasons we're calling people that.
Yeah.
The paradigm has shifted.
They do their stuff. Well, breaking news real quick. Thank you, Tully Quinn. Sinclair is now resuming Kimmel. These are the affiliates that originally rejected his return. They are backing down. Took less than a week. Because a lot of, and that's also important to note too, is that, again, these are multiple truths. It is true that we are in an unprecedented time of fascism and Nazism and bleak, destructive actions, I guess is the easiest way to say it. But at the same time, it is also still true that they are mostly bark and less bite on the whole.
I think,
especially
I think even
like this.
I think even in the crazy times, I haven't. I'm not going to be able to go into the weeds on Chicago, but to my knowledge, National Guard's still not on the ground there, right?
Not. I mean, apparently they're in the water. That's the new thing.
Yes. All right. Yeah, that started. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That did start.
So they are there, but it hasn't been the same as DC.
As promised or as threatened, right?
Yes. Because Pritzker basically said, "I dare you," and then they were like, "Well, invite us." Like they turned into that game.
It's a vampire.
Ask me to come in.
It's a vampire trying to get into your house. Well, what if you were to invite me in? No. Okay. All right. What about now? No. Okay.
Yeah. Have you seen Sinners yet, Ken?
Nah. What am I? You would think I'm going to sit down and watch a movie? What is this?
But you've been doing so well this year with new movies.
I stopped.
Sinners has some great, like, because it's vampires, they use that classic they have to be invited in rule, and it makes for some great scenes and some great tension. It's really
and then okay. 8-9 Brady. See Sinners. I think people assume when I say I don't see movies or I don't want to see a movie that I don't think the movie's good. I always acknowledge they're wonderful. They're great. Mm-hmm. I don't enjoy sitting for 2.5 hours staring at a screen unless I'm in bed trying to sleep and I'm watching YouTube. Like I don't. There's so many things I'd rather do. And can I confess something?
Sitting for 8 hours when it's Bin Laden talk. That's what he's.
Yes, that's different. It's different. We're learning about things. Can I also confess something? It's a tiny little thing.
Of course.
I don't like movies where an actor plays like twins or like the same.
Interesting.
It drives me crazy.
What about it bothers you?
It's a cheat. I don't like it.
So we should be casting twins, is what you're saying, not casting a single person.
Just go a different direction.
So you're not anti-twin.
No, come on.
You don't have prejudice against twins.
No. I'm just always like, hey, dude. Look, I love Austin Powers. Mike Myers can play 9 roles. Eddie Murphy can play 9 roles. But when it's like, even the Winklevoss twins in the Dip-to-Do movie, like,
yeah,
I don't like it.
You didn't like Nancy Meyers' The Parent Trap with little Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah, I didn't see it. Yeah, Schwarzenegger and DeVito. That's the twins I like. I say this, Alden, to acknowledge it's completely weird and random, but it's a little thing I have. Oh, did you hear he plays both brothers? Yeah, I'm good.
Interesting. What is this?
It just takes me out of it. The whole time I'm like, well, how did they film it? There's a stand-in? I get that, and then they just one day they film the next day, and it's impressive acting work. I want to be clear, Michael B. Jordan's uber talented. He's one of our best.
Yeah.
This is why I'm always saying it's not that I don't like Wicked. I just no. But with it,
I'm fascinated by this because this is one of the and you're acknowledging that it's weird and silly. So it's like
totally
it's not debating you, but it's just like we all have these silly ass hangups where it's like, well, I can accept that it's a battle against vampires, but what really throws me is that's one actor.
Yep.
No,
totally weird.
This is like your what was your thing with science fiction? It was like you don't cloaking. You don't like cloaking. That's what
I don't like. Oh yeah, so it might be a little bit of that. Yeah, I don't like ships that cloak. And I said this on the Clone Wars report on Force Center because there's this one rare moment in Star Wars and the Clone Wars where they cloak a ship. They don't really do that. And I said I don't like it. I don't really know why. And Joseph goes, no, I know why. You don't like it when people get away hiding who they really are. And I was like,
that's one of maybe the best Joseph
fuck.
moment of all time. That's so good.
Holy, because really if you get me drunk in a hotel room, giggity, I'll run down a list of people in the digital media world where I'm like, you don't know the real them. Oh. And anyways,
we could do that all day. No, I had a similar thing a few years ago where I was explaining to my then girlfriend about things that gave me nightmares when I was a kid, like things that I watched that scared me enough to freak me out. And the 3 examples were Edward Scissorhands mortified me as a kid. Even though I was really into the Tim Burton-y aesthetic and, weirdo stuff, it scared me. It really deeply unnerved me. I was like crying because of that movie. And my mom didn't understand why. It was The Phantom of the Opera, and it was the beginning of 2004's Van Helsing, where they go after Frankenstein. And I explained that to my then girlfriend, and I was like, yeah, these are the things that scared me. I used to have nightmares about these 3 characters, these 3 moments. And she was like, oh, that makes sense. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, Edward Scissorhands, Frankenstein's monster, and the Phantom of the Opera all didn't ask to be born the way they were, and they were bullied by the normals. And she's like, they didn't ask to be ugly. They didn't ask to be deformed. They didn't ask to be stitched up. Like they were just trying to be nice, and they were beaten up by mob mentality. She's like, mob mentality scared you as a child. The othering of somebody freaked you out as a child. And then it really clicked in my brain. And I realized how true it is. I realized how mad I get when I see someone staring at a little person or a wheelchair user. I get really fucking mad when I see that. I want to get in their line of sight and be like, go about your business. Like, it really bothers me. So that was a whole that was my version of that.
Gotta learn it. You gotta learn it. Tully asked an important question. I was cloaking why you hate Star Trek. First of all, I don't hate Star Trek. Look, Tully, let's not start that fight from '84. But it is one of the reasons. Yeah. Now it's used to comic effect in Star Trek 4 when the ship's in the park and everything. But yes, Star Trek is too it's too serious to me. It's too sincere in its science.
Yeah.
TIE fighters don't make noise in space. Great. Love that sound. I wouldn't trade that for the world. So yes, cloaking ships. Though the Bird of Prey is one of my favorite design ships in genre filmmaking and TV, I don't like it cloaking. End of story. Send your letters to the syndicators behind this show.
Yeah. Everyone that carries Anytime with Ken and Alden, They have to choose now between us and Star Trek.
Yeah.
0-14 DS9. Here we go. Yeah,
I made a bet yesterday. No, I made a bet yesterday. If the Dolphins go 0-14, I will watch one episode of DS9. They're not. They're going to win Monday, so it's a good bet. It's a good bet. I'll take it.
Are they so far?
They're 0-3. They're 0-3. Yeah. It's not.
0-3. Oh, okay. Oh, there's a ways away. You guys need to set better bet standards for yourselves.
They tried to do 0-7. I'd watch Wicked, but I don't have. There's a chance I will just watch Wicked on my own one night. You know.
But it's like, I feel now like I cheated myself because I set the 1,000 subs to get us to watch Lion King, and evidently the Anytime viewers just don't have any friends. It's like,
we're stuck in our algorithm. Yep.
And if you are an Anytime diehard, I'm looking at all of you. I see you. See you in the comments. So help me God. You better get on Hinge, get on Bumble or something, and then don't try to get laid. Just link our show. All right? Because the closer we get to 1,000, then we get to watch the Lion King.
Is that how to promote shows now? Just go on dating profiles?
I mean, there's no other way to promote that, evidently. Like, it's like the thing that's freaky about these times too, especially with the way the algorithms work, is that it's impossible to know if you've already been buried. Right? Like,
oh yeah.
Like our show Anytime has existed only within the time frame of like what's happening in Gaza, Trump 2 and all that. And it's like, this algorithm is not friendly to that type of talk. We could be cooked already. Who knows? This is the equivalent of broadcasting out of a bunker.
No, it's
while the missiles are flying.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot to it. I don't know. Anyways, let's not depress ourselves. Both Tully and David Mackay bring up good points. If they had friends, they wouldn't be here. That's true. That's true.
You wouldn't sit around and watch with your buddies? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't either. I am not somebody that's like, I share music, but I'm not someone that's very rarely am I like, check out this podcast, because it's like that's a conversation I'm listening to. I don't need to have a conversation about their conversation with you, whoever you are. But I do share music. I send Ken all the bands I discover.
You sent me some this week. You unfortunately sent me a metal recommendation. It's not my favorite genre, but
that was a risk. That was a risky click.
Yeah,
but the band called Castle Rat that I definitely recommend.
Castle Rat.
Some fantasy metal led by a redhead with a sword. So
I like it. I'm not opposed. It's just not my song. That's not. We all as humans are looking for songs in the key of our soul, and that's not. So it's not like if I don't like metal, doesn't mean metal's bad. It just means it's not in the key of my soul.
Our hearts are ringing in the key that our souls are singing. That was in the greatest song ever written by mankind, September. Other stuff that we had written down.
Okay,
This is. I'll read you guys what the rant rundown was. We have the shooting, the online dog shit culture, Kamala Harris on her loser press tour, Kimmel, comedians and blood money, Bob Iger. So really, nowhere fun to go. I will say real quick, the Kamala stuff is starting to piss me off, and I knew it would, but it's just like this.
Listening, explain more, as Homer Simpson would say. Explain more.
This and we've seen it before. When Hillary lost, it was just like the loser tour now of just like the constant victim that's going to go around, but then give her commentary from the side of like, I said this was going to happen. That's already happening, but somehow worse. Like this, every excerpt from this book makes her look really bad. And I don't care about Joe Biden's feelings, but like she turned coat immediately. The first thing to come out of the book is saying that Biden's dignity and ego and like basically self-centeredness is what kept him in, and we were all it was drilled into us like a mantra that only him and Jill could decide what was going to happen, and she just makes it sound like the whole thing is his fault, which probably is. Then she admits plainly in writing that all of their exit surveys and all their post data and everything had refusal to change on Gaza as the number one reason why 2020 voters didn't show up for her in 24. If only someone could have predicted that was going to happen. I'm not saying me. I'm saying the internet. All of us. She admitted outright. She managed to slapped Tim and Buttigieg at the same time with one excerpt, revealing that Buttigieg was her first choice. So that's a slap on Tim. And then revealing, but I didn't pick Buttigieg because he's gay. A slap on Buttigieg. Like, it's just, like, how does she have any friends after releasing this? And then we're supposed to like her? And then we're supposed to leave her on the table as a possible option going forward for leadership?
No,
it's insane to me that they want to do vote blue no matter who, and then betray each other openly. And then be like, but we need your money because to help the team. What team? What team?
Yeah.
You guys won't even endorse Zoran. You're busy stabbing each other and selling books.
True.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, no, asked, answered. I have no opposition to what you're saying at all. It's been out of the corner of my eye, and it's again one of the things where, like, if this was under normal times, whatever normal truly means, I don't know how normal it ever was. But, if this was, 1912 and Teddy Roosevelt talking shit on Taft, it'd be like, all right, that's kind of what happened. But I think you look around and you're like, even though it's true, and I think Rich and Stat says, hey, hey, maybe she was right about some of the stuff. Yeah, I think, and even Alden, you would agree that maybe she's saying some things that were true about the process. But my big question is just why in book form, and what are you going to do then now? Because look around. Right? Yeah. Are you going to then realize, are you saying that, yeah, maybe I should have changed my position on Gaza, or maybe I wanted to but wasn't allowed to? Then what are you going to do with that? Because we do have to unwind centuries of you got to support Israel. Genesis 8 says you got to support Israel, as opposed to, just letting now we get the Israeli government doing this. The South Park said so well this week. It's like, are you going to help with that, or are you just going to write a book about it? Yeah. And that's where my malaise really sets in this time. Because it's normal. It's like you said, it's been done before, but now I'm like, this is I don't see the point in this now. There's not that there ever was, but like, it's more important now for you to do something else, like fight some other way.
Figure something out. Be the one then that causes reform in the DNC. Like, it's an discussed thing because we're dealing with such a hellstorm of bullshit every single day. But like, it should not be lost on people that anyone not a right winger, I'll give you the whole range from centrist Dem all the way to outright tanky commie. The whole spectrum of people that vote against conservatism have not actually had a choice in 3 election cycles. That's just reform that. You want to write something? Write some notes on that. 16, we did not have a choice. They act like we did. We did not. 20, we absolutely did not. The infamous phone calls, the dropouts, the Super Tuesday drama, the rallying around Biden, even though he got beat 4 times in the state primaries. And then this time, it did not even cross their minds to give Democratic voters a choice of who are we going to run instead of the ice cream man. And it's like, reform that. Stop trying to make money selling books. Are you going to give any of that money away? She says in the excerpt about Gaza, I tried to push Joe to showing the same compassion he shows to the Ukrainian armed forces and people under invasion over there. To push that same feeling toward Gaza. And it's like, all right, let's say I believe you. I don't. But let's say I believe that you were trying to do that. Why don't you give some of these book proceeds then to this cause that you think needs more attention? Right. But no, it's just it's a whole
again, it's something that as acting, it seems to be under normal times, and it's not, right. That's the way I looked at it. But any book tour, any I don't know, when the books come out too early in their post blank career, I'm like. It just becomes tell all. It's like it's clickbaiting to me in a little. And these excerpts are that indeed. Yeah, not saying that there's anything. What I think. I think I said on this show, a gay man and a black woman might not be the thing for Tennessee. I don't know. I'm sorry, Tennessee, but what are you doing with that information? What are you doing? You just said it, but that's wrong. So how do we fix that? And she doesn't. She's not there for that. Anyway,
the only tell-all book I'm interested in is yours. I need a tell-all about the last 15 years of the internet. I need the documentary. I need all the drama. I need all the tea.
It ends with me living in a car. that's what's.
We don't know.
That's the story. That's
Fairness.
the story.
We don't. The end is still unwritten, as the song says.
Yeah. 44 days. I'm with you. Sorry, Kingsport Cal. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I love Tennessee. Kingsport Cal, I love Tennessee. I think it's a beautiful state. And but I'm just trying to find the avatar for quote middle America. Which quite frankly
do you actually have
includes
a state?
Bakersfield.
Do you actually have a state that you outright dislike with no irony, no joke? You don't like it. You don't like
in a very Ken Knapsack way, like he doesn't like one actor playing twins.
I don't like you're joking about Tennessee, but is there a place that you were like, this place sucks?
No, well, Gallup, New Mexico wasn't great as a city. No, I didn't like Houston. Really ugly city spread out. But to me, it's all about the people. I do find, not to swing me into Jimmy Kimmel's monologue, but like, I don't want to know a lot of the voting records of people I met in Tennessee, but beautiful cities and beautiful countrysides, and Oklahoma's gorgeous parts of it. I loved my time going through Oklahoma City. But, God bless Ryan Walters stepped down as the school superintendent, but now he's gone on to the more stupid shit. But like, I have great friends in Texas, so I am big on I could say I hate Florida, but I don't hate Florida. I hate the people in charge, and I hate that what the state generally seems to attract, but I don't hate you. And I know that right now you can't get out of there. So I'm not going to burn that state down. So that's where I'm at. I mean, fuck California, man. Love California. LA is a great city. And a pox on anyone who doesn't think that. You haven't experienced it. Doesn't mean you have to move here, but it's a great city. But take the trip up the 5 Freeway, man. It's as red as any other part of the country. So yeah, I don't want to burn that down.
Just wondering. I don't have really a solid answer. I haven't been to all 50, not even close. But like
people saying Utah, I've only been to the Salt Lake City airport, and it was delightful. And I had 2 great enchiladas. And I know people raised there. I have a friend who lives in Boise now. My former girlfriend was raised in Soda Springs, Idaho. Went to college in Boise. There's good people everywhere. And I think as I have a friend, I won't mention him, bring him in the conversation, but he's a real close friend of mine. And like, sometimes I'll make a comment about, oh, goddamn, that person's flying an American flag. And he's like, no. That is still our flag, and I'm going to take it back from those people. And he's big on, I don't want to move because I like this country. I love it even. And I want to fight for a better version of it. And there's that kind of attitude. So anyways, you asked me what state I don't like, and I could have just said Montana and moved on, Alden.
I would really like to reach in my life not necessarily your friend's full perspective of like defending it and trying to take it back, but like there's a Steve Rogers sort of Captain America optimism to that I respect, because my experience, my age, my perspective has led me so far in the other direction where it's like I could see honestly a really sweet, wholesome person, and if they've got flag gear on, or if they have the flag in their yard, I immediately default to you.
Oh, I do too.
You clown. And that's not fair. I will acknowledge that it's not fair. It's funny.
Yeah.
But it's not fair.
But I'm there too. There's a house near me that runs a Don't Shut on Me in a 1776 American flag. And I flip off the house every time I drive by.
Well, that person, a little different.
Yeah, well, they are that.
But
6 houses down, there is a house that flies often the California flag or the American flag, and I've seen inside, and they have a giant American flag on the wall, and I've always been like, okay, I see you. One day, my former fiance and I met them, and it was this wonderful lesbian couple. We got into talking about some stuff. They very clearly on our side of life, but they just were like, I didn't ask them about it, but I'm just was like, oh, I did a sweeping judgment on that house. I still would like to know why. Maybe they got some military connections. Maybe they got, it's. And I know what the flag stands for, and I know what the flag stands for in other parts of the world. It's not a good, I can get to all of that, but it is fascinating about what we do when we're walking through life.
I judge every 4th of July weekend when I see people in my age group with like their bathing suits, red, white, and blue, their sparklers and everything. I'm always just like, ha, you rubes, you fools,
Yeah.
you clowns.
I get it. I get it. I think that becomes where usage is what dictates the meaning to me. And like, I don't love Thanksgiving, overall. Food's my favorite holiday food, but it's like, if it now means for some people you gather around with those you love, friends or otherwise, family or otherwise, then I'm fine with that being the meaning, and then we'll deal with the actual history at the same time. Multiple truths, as you and I talk about. But I'm also with you, Alden. The last time I think I've been to a 4th of July party was 2003. Absolutely not.
That was still in the era of like close enough to 9/11 that we were all really still drinking the Kool-Aid, though. So we'll allow 2003. 2003, man, could you imagine being back in 03? That was a solid year. Return of the King in the theaters, anyone? That's really the only highlight.
03 was a good, yeah. Personally, I had some big changes on the way. I had my first big public meltdown, nervous breakdown in my position in life. It's a habit. It's a hobby. Goddamn, Mark Ellis wants to stop texting me. He wants to go to lunch.
Mark Ellis.
But 03 was a pretty good.
Man's hungry.
Man's hungry. He's finished golf. He wants to eat. Golf.
We will be out of here.
I love golf. By the way, I love golfing. Like, I love golfing. Golfing's a great sport, and it's golf courses are beautiful and relaxing. They're some of my favorite places in the world. But just saying that means I'm guaranteed even people listening now are like, you fucking fascist, taking resources and land and a rich privilege game. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But until you stand on the 9th hole and look out and take a deep breath and go, I'm okay with living today, I invite you to get on the course with me. And Mark's
golf
right now
is connected to one of my earliest exposures to the idea that parents can fail their kids and like snuff out the light and the spark in their child. And it wasn't my spark. But this is what happened. So my mom, before I was the age when I could like pick my own clothes, in middle school is when I really started to like, I'm wearing all black. I'm picking my own stuff. I'm wearing Aussie t-shirts. I'm wearing, Simple Plan, Linkin Park, whatever. That was really when I started to take ownership of my own identity. But elementary, it's like your mom buys you clothes, whatever. So I used to wear a lot of like polo shirts. And like when I was a little boy, I had like the plaid shorts on. My mom totally wanted me to be one of those little golfer boys, right? So much so that she bought me a set of clubs and signed me up for golfing lessons when I was maybe 7 or 8. And I did them, a few weeks. I very clearly was not engaged with it. I didn't care. I wasn't practicing. And she didn't force it on me. Once she saw that it was a waste of her money and time of driving me over there, she was just like, you know what? Never mind. I wasn't like, I don't remember being terrible or like being embarrassed, but I just remember like I would do everything once and then I would stand there bored, But I remember
frustrating
distinctly. I will never forget this. Vivid in a child's height in my mind still is a kid one spot over from me, and he threw his club down and really loudly, really earnestly said, I didn't even want to do this. I told him that I wanted to do art and I wanted to paint. And it's funny.
Is this some Tim Robinson sketch?
God,
what is this?
I swear to God, like that means anything to me. I need to swear something that means something to me. I swear on little Grogu. I swear on my son, Grogu.
There you go.
That's
funny.
This happened.
That's hilarious.
I will never forget it. That he said, I didn't want to do this. I wanted to do art. I wanted to paint. And at that moment, I couldn't quite process it at the time. But looking back, I'm like, oh, that was a fundamental moment in me realizing that we fuck kids up. Like we really just like, we tried to make them whatever. We think that they are little projections.
Yes.
And not people. It's really, really unfortunate.
Yes.
That's why I don't have any. Also, I can't afford one. So
kids are friends. Okay, both. Yeah.
yeah.
I love the best. I think the thing I love about Anytime is you and I come in here pissed off, scared, upset, worried, and there's so much things to talk about. And then at one point, about an hour into it, one of us says something about Dua Lipa's boots or how I like to eat tacos from the back end first, and then we just devolve into a fun 15-minute. I'm joking. I don't know. I don't even know what that meant.
What's the back end in your mind?
I don't know. When you pick up a taco, you go this way, right? Do you occasionally flip it around?
Well, then we decide what the back is. So maybe you can by picking it up. By picking it up, you've already determined what's the back and what's not. So do you have to announce when reaching for it? This is the back that I'm biting.
I usually eat tacos alone. I'm just saying, you pick up a taco.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the taco, and then you're like, so you pick it up, and you're like, but sometimes you're like, maybe no.
Oh, but I do see. Molly says, "Gotta flip it to catch the stuff trying to escape." See, I pinch the back of it because I'm a soft taco guy, so I pinch the back. Same. So I'm nothing's ever Molly. Nothing's ever escaping when I'm on the taco duty. All right, it's just, it's a full. I'm like a marauder, like on that taco. Like it's like there will be no dawn for this taco. No quarter will be given.
No any meat. JB says I flip and eat evenly. Molly says again you fold it in and pinch it. I do that too. David asks if we still talk about tacos. Apocalyptic roar. Gotta attack the taco from both sides for balanced distribution of ingredients to bite and hold. I agree with that. Jared highlights that my Capri Sun bit, which now I am seeing a connection.
Capri Sun clip is really good.
To me, turning around.
Yeah. You mentioned Dua Lipa, and it made me think, as I often do, about her.
Yes, I did.
So she's been in New York because she did like 4 or 5 nights at the Garden. Great clips. You can check them out. Lenny Kravitz. She's been doing a cover based on where she is on the whole tour.
Right. That's cool. It's
been really fun. But in that, I'm not saying I support the paparazzi. I want to be clear. The paparazzi are largely scumbags. Perhaps even all scumbags.
Okay.
That being said, they do occasionally provide me with some great Dua Lipa pictures, and I'm just a mortal man. There's nothing I can do about that. But she was out in New York City.
Normal men.
We're just normal men. We're just innocent men. And she was out with her bodyguards, as she needs to be and should be.
Okay.
And this is what I noticed. One of her bodyguards is a regular-looking young guy, and he's like, she's showing him something. They're like talking like they're friends because I'm sure she travels with these people, and they're looking at like on the phone, probably looking at directions of like where to walk. They're like laughing in one picture or whatever. But I know it's a bodyguard because he's wearing a bulletproof vest over his polo shirt, and I'm like, man, like I think I finally found my calling. Like I should be the guy that's there to take a bullet for Dua Lipa.
Exactly. You want to do executive protection?
The Dua Lipa honor guard.
Okay.
It's
we can get you there.
I'm not a firearms guy, but I'll light someone up if it's for her. I'm just saying.
Let's do it. Let's go to a gun range. I can probably get you in. I have some old contacts in it. I executive protected Jewel and Mini Driver and Pink.
We could do it together.
And some redheaded American Idol guy. Remember James Jamison or it was some weird like Johnny Johnson name. He was on American Idol in like 4 or 5. No, it wasn't Clay Aiken. It was some other guy, and I guarded him. But yeah, I guarded Jewel and Michael Moore. I helped escort Michael Moore out of the Pacific Theaters at the Grove, and at the time I was on the other side of the aisle.
I was about to say, I was like, oh, interesting.
But I was in front. And Senator John Edwards. I worked with the Secret Service and had to help escort him around the farmers market, and I was the lead. I was like, am I going? I don't have a bulletproof vest. Anyways, point being, I have a lot of connections. This is a good dream to manifest.
Yeah,
you guarding Dua Lipa.
You get back in the game. We can guard Dua Lipa like we're two like true like men of Gondor. Like that's how important that job is to me.
We'll call it Gondor Protective Services.
Yeah. Well, we're all stealing Tolkien words now to name companies anyway.
Yeah.
If the right wing can do it, left, right, and sideways, Palantir. Now there's a banking thing they have called Erebor, which, if you know anything about what happened at Erebor, is very funny.
Yeah.
It's like, let's name our banking thing after the hoard of gold that Smaug had to slaughter dwarves to acquire, and then he slept on it for 60 years. That's your bank.
That's your bank. Yeah. We could call it. We could
drink.
Okay. We can go it the other way. Call it the Riders of Rohan.
Yeah.
That sounds like a horse tour company. Come rent a horse for a Saturday morning. All right, we solved it.
Because I didn't realize because I know you had told me about some of the people that you bodyguarded previously. It didn't click for me until this moment. When you did protection for Mini Driver, did you bring up Grosse Point Blank?
I did not. No, you got to be, because they have their team and you're the local team. This is when I was at the farmers market in the Grove. And she was delightful. She asked me, can you get some water? She was tall. But no, I was obviously such a huge Grosse Point Blank fan that, I wanted to, but you don't know. Jewel was sweet, nice. But you don't really you're there. The Pink was great. Her team, not even her team, but the team connected to the company that had brought her out for these concerts, they were horrible. They did the whole finger in your face. We're not paying you to look at Pink. You look at the ground.
Jesus.
Bullshit, which some of my LAPD friends have worked for details on J-Lo, and they were all lined up, put in a straight line in a kitchen, told to fold their hands and look down on the ground, and then J-Lo came in. They weren't allowed to look up at her. Like, that kind of shit's real. But everyone else, I've been blessed with everyone being pleasant.
I have too.
The best was my Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson drove himself, got out, introduced himself to everyone, send your name back to you, like all that kind of shit. It was good. He was great.
That's really cool. I've had mostly good experience. I've never bodyguarded, but just like working at iHeart and like musicians, celebrities, comedians, all that coming through. Yeah. All of them were good. I've told you about the one who wasn't, and I'm not going to name the person just because it's a hop, skip, and a jump away from people that that have to work for this person. But it was a classic, like, get me a coffee. So I made this person a coffee, and then they didn't like the coffee, and their guy came over to me and said he doesn't like the coffee, and I was just like, we have another flavor. I can make him the other flavor if he wants. I made him the other flavor. He didn't like it. Then it was skip over me and go straight to his guy and sent him out to the nearest Dunkin' to get that coffee. So now we're on the third cup. It was just
but it's also
that type of shit you hear about.
Yeah, it's he also was great in Grosse Point Blank, so life is tough.
Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot about
10 years, man. Anyways,
and it was not Dan Aykroyd, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it wasn't.
Dan, I love Dan Aykroyd. One of my friends in LAPD was working a gate detail, and Dan got stopped, like one of those ID sir, someone didn't know him, and Dan exploded. Police had to come out, like
he started yelling at them for asking.
Yeah, he was, and he's kind of insane. He's like, I love him. So I told you from that book. Read that book, the Saturday Night book, when he destroys. I think the floor on 8H or 17. He destroys it after the New Orleans live show. He's on edge.
Spray painted all over the elevators.
Yeah, all of the elevators and stuff, and everyone was scared of Belushi.
The writer revolt.
Yeah, Aykroyd's a thing, and he's one of my favorites. But yeah, he absolutely went batshit on this incident. I still love him. I still love him.
Look, everybody needs a good crazy person that they really like. For some people, that's like Charlie Sheen. He's having a little bit of a moment again.
Yeah.
Nikki was at the mall the other day. I'm not sure what mall, whatever mall is closest to where he is in Hollywood, and Charlie Sheen was there. Yeah, Charlie was there for the new Netflix thing that he's doing or whatever, or new book, or he's a good crazy. Aykroyd's a top tier crazy. We're wrestling fans. There's lots of great crazies there. I love a harmless, eccentric crazy. That's always a great type of Bobby Slayton. Bobby Slayton's a good crazy in person.
The pitbull of comedy.
It was Pit. Alden Oak and Shield and the Ark and Leap. But I'm just saying, look, I've said it before. It's not a I want her thing, but there should be marble statues of her. Like it's like she's one of the only things I can believe in. Like we really look to her example.
I understand.
I understand.
It's beyond desire and thirst. It is beyond that.
Admiration.
I get it. It's admiration, spirit. I feel you.
Is Goldblum good crazy or bad crazy? We're gonna answer this question very carefully.
Ask some of the girls in town.
We're not making allegations, but there's rumblings about.
No,
we're not making allegations. Is what I'm saying. We are not making any.
I'm just saying I cannot register opinion, and if you were to ask some other people in town, they'd answer you.
Yeah. But in general, we like Jurassic Park. And he's in Wicked.
And he's super talented. He's one of my favorites. Love watching him.
Talented.
I liked his little show on Disney Plus where he went around and like tried bubblegum or whatever the hell it was.
That was during the glorious pandemic days when we were like, this right here, this is the future. Streaming will win. We'll never.
I loved.
Let's give Goldblum 2 seats.
Who's the voice of Goofy? Who's the voice of the famous voiceover Disney Hall of Famer? Someone in chat. Bill something?
Oh, no. Bill something. Yeah, I was about to do the Mario voice, but no, it's Bill something.
Yeah, he does a ton of voices, but he had a Disney Plus show where they went around and discovered cool animals that do cool things. Grace and I love that show. It was Bill Farmer. There it is. Thank you, Ethan. A great show on Disney Plus. It was wonderful. Then they were just like, wait, done. We're gonna acquire other companies.
Why is it that everybody made such a stink about Jimmy Kimmel and nobody made a stink about the way more important show, Willow? That's what I want to know. Where were all of you when
where were you and Rohan? Yeah. I mean, it's because
where were you when they took away the lesbians?
It's because Brendan Carr didn't get on Benny Johnson's podcast and say we'll stop your merger because Willow has friends who are othered by me. I know. There you go. All right.
Well, we're winding down here. We actually made.
I worried, Alden. I said too much.
You didn't say anything. You did not
firsthand. Not firsthand.
You didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
This is all legally protected. This is a legally protected speech while we still have it.
What the hell am I doing here? Yeah.
Since you brought that song up, every now and then it comes up in my algorithm.
The Patrice O'Neal clip? Yes.
The Patrice video. Is the Patrice video the greatest moment in radio? Maybe.
It's up there. Yeah. Really it's up there. He's
good.
He's missed. Not perfect, but missed.
Patrice he was one of the ones that we found. We were kids and we were just like, oh my God, like this is so cool, this is so funny. I was telling you this week, it was like the Dane Cook pipeline to the Louis C.K. pipeline. Like we were on a different path when we were young men. Brady's asking, what's the clip? There's a clip. Just Google Patrice O'Neal creep and it'll come up immediately. He explains on a morning show why the song "Creep" means something to white people, and it's so funny.
It's funny because I love. I'm not a huge Radiohead fan, but love that. Like Fake Plastic Trees. Great clip going around this week of a guy who breaks down songs, both thematically but also musically, and a great intro, a great deep dive into Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead. You guys could search that. It is one. I've been listening to that song the last couple of days because I love it so much. And I'm playing it this week on Pop Rockin' Radio, everybody. This afternoon, recording a new episode. So support on Patreon to get my radio show. Or listen at midnight Eastern on Hall of Fame Music Radio. There we go. All right. Is that it? Did we burn off our anchor enough?
I think I feel better than I did going into this. Now I'm just going to listen to my perfectly curated Dua Lipa playlist that is ordered the exact way that I think all her songs should be ordered. Okay. And that should make me feel good.
That should do it. That should do it.
That should do it.
Okay. I love it. We will be back next week. We're hopefully trying to get a cool interview hopefully that happens.
Yeah, I gotta send a follow-up email. Hey,
nudge,
buddy.
nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
But,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you all next week, too, for the Blathering. If you're a Blathering fan, I'm off for a couple days as I travel to go get my doggy. So we'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.